Okay, so breaking news. This just came down to Newswire. Well, 8 hours ago, Daniel Snyder, the owner of the Washington Commanders, is going to probably sell his team. Now, he has gone on a lot of criticism and a lot of bad things, a lot of bad breaks for Daniel Snyder. A lot of these bad breaks, he initiated a lot of these bad breaks. And we can go down the laundry list of things that he did wrong with the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders fan base is not impressed with Daniel Snyder. A lot of religious and ethnic groups are not impressed with Daniel Snyder. Daniel Snyder couldn't even get this team to be a very competitive team. He couldn't even get this team to be a very successful team or a championship level team. With all that money, he could not do anything with it once he became the owner of the Washington Commanders. Now, we can go down the laundry list of things that he has done and crashed and burned and devalued this franchise. First and foremost, when he purchased the franchise, he was under a lot of criticism and under a microscope that a lot of, Native American groups wanted Daniel Snyder to change the name. It was used to be the Washington Redskins. Daniel Snyder was headstrong. He said no, he wanted to keep the name. But that was a nightmare, a disaster. And then ultimately, he felt pressure, and then ultimately he changed it to the Washington Commanders. He didn't want to do that, but one of the things that pushed him in that direction is, do anyone remember John Gruden? John Gruden was in a scandalous situation in the NFL world about a lot of things he had said. Also, Daniel Snyder brought down the Washington Commanders front office. Basically, he was sexting, texting, nude photos of a lot of NFL cheerleaders. And then that controversy really lit up the magnifying glass and really turned the heat up, not only to the Washington Commanders, but to the NFL. So also a lot of behavior in the office of the Washington Commanders headquarters. A lot of women was coming forward that there was a lot of, sexual harassment going on at the headquarters. That didn't look too good to Daniel Snyder. Daniel Snyder was also, still headstrong and fighting with a lot of ethnic groups such as the Indian community, as well as the Me Too movement. But overall, all of this was a catastrophic disaster of a nightmare for Daniel Snyder. And now he's in this other recent criticism. A lot of people are saying that Daniel Snyder was hiring an investment firm, well, not an investment firm, to investigate the rest of the owners of the NFL. That did not go too well for Daniel Snyder. Now, he categorically denied these accusations, but Daniel Snyder is basically saying, I give up. I'm throwing my arms up. I'm throwing my hat out, and I'm just done becoming an owner of the Washington Commanders. He thought this was pretty cool, owning an NFL franchise. He was really never a sports fan. Looking at his documentary, reading several books about Daniel Snyder, he was never a sports fan. He just wanted to own the team. Similar to what Robert, I think I'm going to butcher his last name, Robert Savara. He used to be the owner of the Phoenix Suns. He was, basically, when you look at Daniel Snyder and Robert, these guys treat these franchises as investments, as toys, but basically as investments. Daniel Snyder is, a lot of people are estimating that he's ready to sell the team and just move on with his life. He really didn't do a lot for this team, getting the proper group as far as coaching, the right coaches, the right players. Now, there have been some bad luck along the way, picking the wrong players. But Daniel Snyder should be at the forefront of those reasons because you are the owner of the Washington Commanders. So he's alleged of selling this team. Now, if I was the NFL, the next owner of the Washington Commanders has to be an African American company or an African American individual. A lot of people, the NFL is getting some criticism and getting some heat on themselves as they don't have a lot of minorities who own a lot of these NFL teams. Particularly when you look at the NFL, it's like 85% of the players are African American. And it doesn't translate off the field for African American players. It doesn't even translate in as far as coaching, assistant coaching, in the film room. It doesn't translate very well after your life being a professional football player, okay? And I feel like the NFL is going to have a minority own the Washington Commanders. I also feel like it's going to be an African American because they have to get with the times. All right. If you look at the NBA, the NBA has minority owners. Okay. The NBA is above and beyond what they're doing in their community. Okay. Not only we have the traditional white males who own an NBA team, but we also have females owning NBA teams. We have African Americans owning NBA teams. We have different ethnic groups that are in different groups who has a percentage of owning NBA teams. We have head coaches in the NBA that are African American. We even had assistant coaches being females in the NBA. We potentially could have had our first NBA female coach, Becky Hamels. She was always, she was always in discussions when there was an NBA head coaching position that needs another coach. The NBA has gone above and beyond, their requirements as far as meeting with the times and getting with the times. And the NFL is pretty much stuck in the 70s, okay? It's still the majority of the owners are white males who, don't communicate very well or doesn't have real strong ties or relationships with other groups. And, we're never going to have a minority becoming an owner in the NFL until we get one in. And I feel like this is going to be a great opportunity for the Washington Commanders to have a minority owning that team and start, breaking down a lot of these walls and giving a lot of opportunities for other ethnic groups to get in the NFL game. As far as, coaching, head coaching, assistant coaching, ownership, even different genders. Okay, so I think this is going to be hopefully Roger Goodell, does this, but, Roger Goodell, he works for the owners. The owners don't work for Roger Goodell. And if the owners still wanted that country club atmosphere where they're, they want the same old to own an NFL team, then it's back at the drawing board. But this is all speculated. This is speculation. Not 100% sure if Daniel Snyder is going to sell the team. We're just going to have to wait and see how this develops and move on. But Daniel Snyder has been a disaster of an owner. I know a lot of people say Michael Jordan is a disaster of an owner. I think Daniel Snyder, is worse, by far worse. He hasn't done one single great thing to the Washington Commanders other than changing the name. That's pretty much it. And Daniel Snyder didn't even want to do that, okay? He was pushed and pressured to do that, all right? So, yeah, that's all I got for today, guys. Tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. Deuces, folks. Deuces.